What is happening, everybody? I'm Larry Roberts.
And I'm Sara, and this is Branded, our comprehensive guide to creative branding.
And on this very merry episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about holiday branding practices.
There are so many ways you can have a lot of fun with your brand over the holidays, but we have to make sure that we're not doing anything that's going to devalue our brand as a whole.
Yeah, it can be very, very tempting during this time of year to give things away, to give away your time, give away a product, give away a service. And we can, if we're not careful, we can position ourselves in a way that we kind of regret those offerings.
Yeah, I think especially, we're a little late on the Black Friday boat, but with Black Friday, that makes sense in like big box stores when they have like a 200% profit margin or something. But when it's your time that you're giving away, you want to be really careful with that. Your time is not less valuable on a certain day of the year than it is on every other day. So I think we do ourselves a disservice by suddenly going and doing Black Friday offers. It's different if we're selling products or selling like software as a service or something. Being able to do giveaways or deep discounts on something that doesn't take extra time from us. If it's a already established product or a service that is, you kind of create it once and then just can be used forever, that's different. But for people like you and I, we are more on the consulting side and we sell our time. I would never want to say like, oh, suddenly my rate is 75% less just because we ate a turkey yesterday. Like that just seems terrible. That just like, where is the value of my brand if my rates are that low?
Sometimes I feel 75% less after I eat the turkey.
I feel 75% more.
Well, yeah, there's always that side of the coin too. But it's funny because you mentioned the big box stores doing things like this, and this is what you want to avoid. And I don't know how often you're perusing your social media, but I saw so many videos and memes of Target this year where they had just gone through, and on Black Friday specifically, all they did was re-tag everything in the store. They put different pricing labels on everything, and people were going through the store and they were pulling off the price labels that had the Black Friday pricing, and behind it was the old label that was the exact same price.
And I was because I've seen those like price tags like was $19.99, new price $19.99.
Like, that's exactly what it was.
We're just wasting paper.
Well, it's marketing, it's branding, it's building the perceived value. And it's interesting because I actually talked to quite a few people over this last Black Friday, and my understanding, it wasn't quite as profitable as traditionally a Black Friday is typically perceived as. And now, granted, we're in an interesting economy right now, and I lean towards more so it being that we have more information than ever before, and people are smarter than ever before, and we're aware of these not so straightforward marketing tactics to try to present something with a perceived discount that's really was never there in the first place.
I mean, there's some stores, like I used to work in retail, and stores like Kohl's, they're famous for always having sales. Everything is always on sale. They just mark the prices up so they can discount it. And I worked for a board game company when I first moved to Texas, and we would go around the holidays to the different stores and just see how they present our products and our competitors' products.
Sure.
And products that like we had as MSRP $19.99 or like $24.99, you would go to Kohl's and it would be double the price, but 50% off. So they're still you're still paying full price. You just think you're not. And that is why I avoid stores like that, because it's just so obvious if you know the actual product. I think also now we're getting off the branding topic, just at Black Friday in general, but it used to be a day and now it's like a month. So, I was getting Black Friday deals on things that I just needed anyway. They just happened to be on Black Friday for Amazon, like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And I was just like, I've been needing a new vacuum. Oh, look, this one's on Black Friday deal. I guess it's going to make the day less profitable because people have already done it. No one has to wait at 1 a.m. for Walmart to open up when the deal has been active for like the whole month. So that makes sense. But I think when it comes to like our brands, we can play with holiday messaging, like post the cute graphics. I do one for every holiday. I decorate my logo in my profile photos with Santa hats and spider webs and stuff. Do that and have fun with it, but don't make yourself work more for less just because of the time of the year.
You do a much better job of branding favorite daughter with holiday specific branding. I jump in there from time to time on the big holidays,
Mhm.
but I don't address each and every one. And I often wonder if it's something that I should do or if my approach is the same. But one of the reasons I do it is because I don't look at a holiday facilitating a need for me to reduce the cost or price of my services or the value of my services that I provide. The holidays, definitely, they're a time of celebration, they're a time of fun, and they're typically perceived, especially this time of year, as a time of opportunity to maybe take advantage of something that you weren't able to during the previous months of the year. As a business owner, it's very difficult for me to step back and go, I'm still providing the same very high level of service that I provide on a regular basis. What's the real value prop in me discounting my brand for this month?
And I mean, I definitely do things like right now, I just sent out an email to my entire list offering free 30-minute brainstorming sessions.
Mhm.
And that is my quote unquote holiday gift for my subscribers. But I did that strategically. It wasn't just like a here, I'm going to give this away. I mean, I made it clear there's no strings attached. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. But doing that free 30-minute session, I'm able to re-engage the people on my list that may have kind of forgotten about me. And if the ones that do book the session, I'm answering questions and I'm giving proof of my expertise and giving them a real look at what I offer, but I'm not actually doing any work. There's not going to be anything that they get to walk away with other than information and ideas. So if they do want those implemented and they don't know how to do it, they still need me. These 30-minute sessions are more lead generation than anything else. That way, I see value in it for myself and for the person that I'm meeting with. So they can get ideas. They don't have to pay me. I'm not going to force them to make me do it. You can take the idea and run with it. If I spend that 30 minutes really proving that I'm the expert in this and I have these great ideas and I can easily implement it, probably more easily than you could learn how to do it yourself, that could lead to a client relationship for me.
And that's absolutely critical, is having that out there for people to take advantage of and give you that opportunity to establish a relationship that you didn't have before. So again, I love the way that you're going at this so strategically. You have a goal in mind, you have an approach in mind, and you understand the value proposition from an extended point of view that goes beyond just the fact that you're giving a free 30-minute consultation to potential clients. That's the differentiator there. I mean, that's what makes all the difference in the world, is that you already know from a strategic perspective what the real value, the extended value of these consultations could be. I think that's another thing that we need to address, is that a lot of times, and I'm speaking from personal experience, I look very short sightedly at things like this. And I go, well, I'm not about to discount a podcast audit. There's no way. I mean, there's a lot of work involved and there's this and that. But if you were to discount one of your products or services, what's the long term ROI on the fact that you're investing more time at a lower price point? Could that translate to more value down the road? And that's where, again, from a business owner's perspective, it's very easy to look only at the right now and only that direct value prop.
Yeah, and I think another part of the strategy too is if you're going to do like a free giveaway that is either your time or a product, like you said, podcast audits, make sure it's the introductory product. So with a podcast audit, it's again, you're not implementing anything. What you're doing, like the podcast audit that you do, is a really deep dive and analysis on someone's podcast and everything that they're doing right, doing wrong, and where they can improve, but you're not fixing it for them.
Right.
So it's an introductory offer. You sell them for an affordable price, but there is a step 2 if they're interested. So that can turn into you actually implementing some of the changes and helping them grow their show. So by doing like a giveaway of the audit, you're able to then turn that into potential clients. So make sure you do have that strategy. Make sure that there is a next step, there is an opportunity to turn it into profit so that it's not just, oh, hey, here's free stuff.
And you do the same thing with the branding audits. When
Yeah.
you look at somebody's brand and you look at the consistency throughout the brand and whether or not they have brand guidelines and all the primary components of a brand, you do the exact same thing there. And then wrap it up with potential steps that you could take to improve your brand. Just like I have potential things you could do to improve your podcast right out of the gate. But neither you nor I, with either one of these audits, do anything to implement any of those potential steps. It's all back on the potential client. And we need to take that same step regardless of what our business model is. We need to have something, that entry level product where we have an opportunity to establish that relationship and understand the value that you can bring. This time of year is the perfect opportunity to have that introductory type price, as long as, and I want to reinforce this, we have the strategy that we're going to build on that down the road.
I talk about lead generation all the time and giving away free content in exchange for email addresses. So I will always stand by that. I love lead magnets. I think they are fantastic, but a lead magnet, for the most part, is something that you make one time and then it can just be downloaded over and over again. So it's only putting in the work that one time. So that's even different. But you can do something like a free giveaway of, say, a podcast audit as a lead magnet because they can sign up to enter to win it. So now it's really just a contest. This isn't us saying do not do free giveaways, do not do discounts. Just do it strategically so it can lead to greater revenue later.
Well, and do it too from going back to that strategic perspective. Do it too with the understanding that if you do give away X number of these items or these services, it's on you to provide those.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to look at how do you fulfill all of these giveaways that you've been able to connect with your audience on. So keep that in mind as you're doing that, because you don't want to position yourself where now you've got all of this discounted work that you have to do in order to fulfill that implied contract with a new potential client.
And think about what that is worth too. So if you have an introductory product, you know what you'd usually charge for it. Or if you're doing a free, like free consultations, what is your hourly rate? What is that actually costing you? So that way you can see an ROI later when you look at, okay, this free consultation led to this amount in business. Actually pay attention to that so that you know whether or not that's feasible, because you could play around with these different strategies. I mean, holidays come up every couple of months. Try one now, try a new one next holiday and see what really works. But if you're not paying attention to what you're putting into it and what you're getting back, you're not going to know what's really working. And I think when it comes to like we're giving away our time for free, we forget to put a price tag on it. If I'm doing a 30-minute consultation, I have to think about what is my hourly rate I would normally give. That 50% of that hourly rate is what I'm giving away. So what is this costing me? Because if I wasn't giving this half hour for free, I could be using it with someone that was paying me. So you really are putting money into it, whether it's direct or indirect.
And I love that you said that, because I was talking to somebody just this morning and we were looking at their approach to building their speaking career. And they have flown all over the country the last 4 to 6 months. They have literally been in front of 30 different audiences. And we were looking at how many people they actually got in front of as compared to how many of those people converted to a sale or an engagement with their brand, as compared to how much money they spent on plane tickets, how much money they spent on Ubers, how much money they spent on food in all of these random cities. And when it came down to it, they lost a ton of money. It's very easy when we're trying to build a brand or we're trying to build a business to only look at those actual dollar values that maybe we're putting out. So many times we look at being literal with what is this costing us, but we don't take into account the time we're investing and all of the other things that come into account to make these offers and to make these quote unquote holiday values valuable. And if you look deep, 9 times out of 10, you're losing a ton of money to make this happen. And as someone that's trying to build a brand and build a business, the last thing we want to do is lose money. So be sure when you're structuring these holiday offers and these Black Friday type offers, make sure you're taking into account all of the extra stuff that's involved as well. How much time is going to be put in putting together that lead magnet? How much time is going to be involved in executing on that lead magnet? How much time is going to be involved in providing the product or the service that you're giving away? Once you start looking at that, you go, wow.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to not only know the value that you're getting from whatever this free session is, but make sure you actually are delivering value to the person, because you don't want it to seem like a bait and switch. You don't want it to be the price tag with the new branding on top of the same price tag.
Very, very cool. So, hey, let me ask you this. If you found some value in this episode of the podcast, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button. That's all we ask, that you subscribe to the show so we can continue to bring you this content each and every week. And with that, I'm Larry Roberts.
Sara Lucy, and have a happy holiday.